Now on CoastTV News.
It's official, a Dairy Queen has been approved for Milton. The mixed reactions from neighbors coming up. Bay Bridge vote. The Maryland Transportation Authority could approve a major overhaul of the Bay Bridge, what that means for people crossing the Chesapeake. And flights under fire. Some Delaware lawmakers are targeting airlines that work with immigration and customs enforcement. What state incentives could be on the line?
This is CoastTV News at 11.
These plans for a Dairy Queen in Milton now approved. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. It's our top story tonight. On your screen now is where that Dairy Queen would go. It's Broadkill Road in Milton. But as our Emma Aiken reports, not everyone is ready for another chain restaurant in town.
This Milton land, now a grassy, snowy combination, could soon be a new Dairy Queen. Located on less than an acre on Broadkill Road, the store would have a drive-thru, seating for 42, and parking for 32. Martrice Jones is glad Milton is growing with places she once had to drive to Lewis for.
Other than that, there is no other place where kids can, get ice cream and it'll be a good route for people coming in to go to the beach with kids.
But people like Peggy Johnson say they aren't happy about a planned Dairy Queen and prefer to visit other local creameries and ice cream shops.
We moved out here for a certain atmosphere, and I feel like slowly but surely it's being chipped away at, so I'm not happy about that.
You can't really talk about the Dairy Queen project without mentioning the Dunkin' Donuts planned for right next door. The Dairy Queen would be built here on this land at 405 Broadkill Road, and the Dunkin' Donuts is planned for just across that street on 403 Broadkill Road. And that street is the entrance to the Cypress Grove development. For now, it's grass and snow, but soon it could be grill and chill.
That was Emma Aiken reporting, and that Dunkin' Donuts she mentioned is planned for right next to the Dairy Queen. The Milton Planning and Zoning Commission approved that final site plan in October, and last December 2024, a McDonald's was opened just down the street on Broadkill Road. Meanwhile, the Milford Planning Commission approved plans for a Carlisle Fire Company substation after a public hearing today. The company saying rapid growth in Milford is driving the need for faster emergency response times. The plan would turn an existing storage building on Cedar Beach Road into a substation. We did speak with the Milford mayor today about the need for an additional fire facility.
There's a lot to cover out there. You remember, the fire company doesn't just do the city of Milford. They do the city of Milford and the surrounding areas. So they're responsible for quite a bit.
And the fire department says it would be a smaller location set up for about 15 people where firefighters would gear up and then take fire trucks. Now to Lewis, you're looking at the Bellmead Farm property on Route 24. The farm itself, Love Creek LLC, now one step closer to building apartments and businesses on the land after a Sussex County Council vote today. CoastTV reporter Brandon Ferguson shows us why Council went forward with that zoning change.
Mr. Lloyd's points, I vote yes, motion carried.
Gasps were heard throughout the Sussex County Chamber when County Council voted 3-2 to approve a zoning change for this piece of land from agricultural to a planned commercial district. Matt Lloyd, Steve McCarron, and Douglas Hudson voted yes for the change, citing the need for affordable housing and how this development fits into the county's comprehensive plan. The two no votes came from Jane Grunenbaum and John Riley. Grunenbaum saying the increase in traffic that this development will cause and the close proximity to schools was her reasoning. Riley agreed with those points. Grunenbaum added an amendment calling for 15% of the residential units to be reserved for affordable housing. Judy Rose Seibert lives on Route 24. She understands the need for housing, but just not at that location.
Although I do believe that there needs to be more housing. This is a completely inappropriate place to put a C4 development.
Nathaniel Wilson has lived in Sussex County his whole life and just wanted a no vote Tuesday from council.
They have a pattern of voting for the developers, not for the people, not for the environment.
Now that this land has officially been rezoned, the applicant, Love Creek LLC, now needs approvals from agencies like DelDOT and DenRec. The information officer for Sussex County tells us this could take anywhere from a year to 2 years before this is completely done. And then the applicant can present their final site plan to the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission, not Sussex County Council. We reached out to Love Creek LLC for this story, and they did not get back to us. In Lewis, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
A major decision this week could eventually reshape how drivers cross the Chesapeake Bay. The Maryland Transportation Authority Board is set to vote Thursday on a plan to replace the existing Bay Bridge spans with 2 new 4-lane bridges. The proposal would also widen Route 50 and could add bike and pedestrian paths. State officials say if approved, construction would aim to begin in summer of 2032 in Maryland. Construction is getting underway at the US 13 Truck Weigh and Inspection Station in Wicomico County. The State Highway Administration launching a $5.2 million upgrade to modernize the Delaware facility. It was originally built in 1955. The project includes new equipment, better lighting, and updated inspection buildings. Work is expected to be complete there by next summer. DenRec urging hunters to take extra precautions during the state's upcoming waterfowl hunting season amid the recent detection of bird flu. The state says lab testing confirmed the virus in a sick snow goose found last Monday in Kent County. The virus can spread quickly among wild birds, so hunters are asked to handle harvested birds safely and report to any sick or injured wildlife to DenRec. Delaware's waterfowl hunting season reopens tomorrow. Now let's take a live look into Ocean City, and we're going to turn it over to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Good evening, Paul.
Well, we have plenty of cold to go around for today. At least one more day of this cold stuff before it starts trending warmer and a bit on the wet side as well, with a chance of rain and winds. We're at 27 degrees in Milford at this present time. Now, we started off at 17 in Georgetown, 21 the starting point in Ocean City, and 28 in Salisbury. This is actually much cooler than usual. I mean, 33 is where we're supposed to be for our low for the day. Yeah, but 17, that's where we ended up today. We didn't break a record. We were still above that rather, but still cold enough nonetheless. We have 25 degrees in Millsboro, Georgetown, as well as Seaford, and with the wind staying relatively calm for right now, the only place we're seeing an impact with the wind chill is really Indian River Inlet, where it feels like 25 degrees. Coming up, we're going to talk about how much warmer and how much wetter we're about to become, as well as windy, by the way.
Thank you, Paul. Well, you might already know this, but Avelo Airlines, which operates out of the Wilmington Airport, works with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on deportation flights. Now, some Delaware lawmakers are looking to cut off incentives for airlines that do that. 2 new bills would block things like airport contracts and fuel tax breaks for airlines that fly detainees without proper court approval. Delaware lawmakers say the goal is to make sure public dollars do not support what they call reckless immigration enforcement. The measures are expected to be filed this week and then taken up when the legislative session begins on January 13th. Delaware's controversial Caesar Rodney statue back in the spotlight ahead of America's 250th birthday. Caesar Rodney was born near Dover in 1728. He was a statesman and signer of the Declaration of Independence, best known for his overnight ride to cast Delaware's deciding vote. He also owned enslaved people, and in 2020, his statue was removed from Wilmington. It has been in storage ever since. State Senator Eric Buxton, though, says it's time to bring the statue back, drawing federal attention with talk of the statue being on temporary display in Washington, D.C. Critics say the statue showing only Rodney's ride does not reflect the full context of his life and his legacy.
Putting it in storage doesn't make history go away, and putting it on display doesn't celebrate the imperfections. It allows us to tell the imperfections. The very difficult times back then centered around specifically slavery. We should be able to tell that story
Let's talk about the full history of Caesar Rodney, and let's also make sure that we're lifting up those other parts of our culture and not just lifting up the one voice that has kind of been, profiled for the last 250 years, and without a whole lot of criticism or real discernment of what his life and legacy was.
So if the plans move forward for a temporary display in D.C., the Caesar Rodney statue would be featured for America's 250th celebration. After that, its permanent placement in Delaware remains undecided, with one potential site being outside of Legislative Hall. And we are just getting started. More news coming up ahead, like a new petition circulating around Ocean City that could impact short-term rentals, what it could lead to. And coming up, Paul Williams is in our Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He has your full forecast right after this.
So we've been trying to just shake off all this extremely cold weather as of late, and we're going to get a chance to do that, but we have to trade off, cloudy skies and some rain, and then the winds are going to pick up as well. And we now have a yellow alert day as a result of the change that's going to be happening in our weather pattern. Our Irish Eyes camera in Lewis right now holding at 23 degrees. Dew point, measurement of the moisture content in the atmosphere at 19. It's still low, but it's real close to the actual air temperature. Hence, we're getting more moisture that's beginning to build up. Now, we are going to have clear skies for the rest of the night. Here's where we stand right now. We're at 25 degrees in places like, well, for instance, Milford, as long with Seaford, Georgetown, Willards, Millsboro, and we're at 30 degrees right now at Rehoboth Beach. The winds are now coming out of the south. That's a good thing in the sense of taking the edge off the cold that we feel as soon as you step outside. And that edge is still out there as we speak. Now, it feels like 25 degrees Indian River Inlet. It also feels like 25 in Georgetown, 23 in Delmar. So the winds have calmed down a bit, but they're going to pick back up again majorly. We're clear for right now, but you see right here, we have that coloring. Hey, that's our typical thing, right? We're looking for a small craft advisory, about 25-mile-per-hour winds, but the winds are going to go surpass that pretty quickly. And I'm going to show you the latest wind profile with our forecasting maps here in a moment. For Wednesday morning, we start off in the mid-30s, which is a step up because we only ended up at 39 for the high today. Then we're looking at 45. And as we go into Thursday, we'll start off clear, but then cloud cover will build up by Thursday afternoon. Then by Thursday evening, we watch out for widespread scattered showers. And with all this orange and red that's sneaking up in here, we're watching out for a heavy downpour for early Friday morning, like late Thursday when you go to sleep and when you wake up, or you might be woken up by the heavy rainfall that we anticipate. Our timing for the rain is really Thursday night going into Friday early in the morning. That's our time frame for the most part. So I began to kind of look at some of the modeling, and we're looking at Thursday evening, and it was going 2 o'clock in the morning. We see isolated cells that are going to be more impressive and strong. How much rain are we talking about? Well, we're still looking at least an inch where you see the blue, and possibly an inch and a half or 2 where you see the purple, like in Selbyville. We could see more rain there. The winds are coming out of the south, but look at how they're picking up momentum. 43-mile-per-hour winds, but out of the south, but it's still 43-mile-per-hour winds. And then by the afternoon, they come directly out of the west at 45 miles per hour. That's a lot of gusto with that wind. So with that being the case, we have to call for a yellow alert day at the very least on Friday. Wednesday we start thawing. Wednesday's our thaw out day. Thursday's our kick it, enjoy it day. Friday, go back in the house day, okay? Because man, it's gonna be really windy, really rainy. And then look at this. I just think this is wrong. We go from 60 right back down to 35 degrees. That just seems so wrong.
That is wrong. Thank you, Paul. Well, if you're a homeowner who wants to start renting out your property in Ocean City, that's not allowed in these areas on your screen right now. The Ocean City Council recently extended a moratorium as it continues discussions on future regulations for short-term rentals. But some residents say that extension should have never happened. Coast TV reporter Kevin Zippe shows us what they're doing to try and reverse the decision.
Knocking on doors and asking people to sign a petition opposing the extended moratorium on short-term rentals in certain areas of Ocean City. And while some are advocating for the petition,
stop taking people's property rights.
Others are strongly against it.
People have rights for their property, but the issue is I also have privacy rights.
The Ocean City Council recently extended the moratorium by 1 year, preventing any new short-term rental licenses in these areas until early 2027. That decision led Terry Miller and others to push for a referendum. Miller says they must collect 991 signatures from registered voters whose primary residence is Ocean City. She believes these rules could eventually expand into other neighborhoods.
Hotels are down, and they thought this would be easy pickings to take out the short-term rentals in these areas, and then they'll move on to R2 and they'll just keep chipping away.
Carolyn Mariani is not signing the petition, saying she has dealt with loud rental properties in her neighborhood.
I feel sorry for the people across the street from them because they have 2 children, 2 little ones, and that has affected especially the one little boy who's very sensitive to noise.
Miller argues that the problem property owners should be held accountable, but not every homeowner.
But all these other property owners, over 90%, why are you stealing their rights without cause?
With a deadline quickly approaching, the petition effort is racing against the clock. Now, how much time do they have? According to Miller, the petition needs all 991 signatures before January 20th for the referendum to take place. And she says they're doing everything they can to make it happen. I'm Kevin Zapay in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
This brings us right into our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know how you think Ocean City should handle short-term rentals. Let's look at the results. 74% say they should loosen the rules, but 20% say they should tighten the rules. A few people in between there. Let us know what you think. It's not too late to vote. We really want to know what you think on this one. So head to coasttvnews.com or use our mobile app and you can vote. Coming up next here on Coast TV News at 11, authorities still searching tonight for the Brown University shooting suspect. We have the latest on the investigation when we're back.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Tonight, authorities are still hunting for the perpetrator of the deadly mass shooting at Brown University. Saturday's shooting left 2 students dead, 9 others injured at the Ivy League school. And today, authorities released a new enhanced video of a person of interest. Michael Yoshida brings us the latest on the investigation from Providence.
It's deeply sad and tragic that schools across the country are targets of violence. Brown is no exception.
New video released by Providence Police provides a zoomed-in look on the person of interest in Saturday's deadly mass shooting at Brown University.
You want to focus on the body movements, the way the person moved their arms, the body posture.
Officials are urging anyone who recognizes this person, even by the way they carry their weight, to call police.
Once we identify who this person is, I believe we'll be able to locate him. It's very hard to hide in this country.
Classes and exams have been canceled as the community remains on high alert. But the mayor says
there is no credible, actionable, specific threat that has occurred since Saturday.
Brown University's president says more security was placed on university grounds, as it does remain open with many students living on campus.
I was on campus walking around and I couldn't turn around without seeing a security person. So we will continue that for as long as we think it's necessary.
As for the shooting survivors, Rhode Island Hospital's chief medical officer says 1 victim remains in critical condition and 6 others are in various stable conditions.
As the event evolved and we saw the numbers, we were more than capable of handling all of them at Rhode Island Hospital.
Dr. Roy says 2 shooting victims were discharged from the hospital. In Providence, Rhode Island, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Coming up in sports tonight, we'll preview Delaware football's first bowl game at the FBS level. UD taking on Louisiana tomorrow night. And coming up, the holidays are here, but so is flu season. Why experts say the U.S. could see high case numbers this year.
And we're finally going to be able to enjoy a warming trend for Wednesday and Thursday, but we'll watch out for a round of scattered showers and some really gusty winds on Friday.
Medical debt relief on the way to Delaware. Governor Matt Meyer announced the first round of the state's medical debt relief program. The program meant to wipe out up to $50 million of medical debt here in the first state, with the first round set to eliminate nearly $19 million for more than 18,000 people. State leaders say the program targets households with lower incomes or high medical costs, and there's no application process. Eligible residents will receive letters confirming their debt has been erased. Well, it appears the holiday season is spreading more than just good cheer this year. Respiratory illnesses ramping up in the U.S., fueled by a new flu virus variant that spread early in Asia, Australia, and Europe. And tonight, Mandy Gaither has a look at the latest data and why experts worry this respiratory virus season could be as bad as the last one.
The holidays are here, and so is respiratory illness season, with 3 influenza viruses circulating in the U.S., the new variant subclade K driving most infections.
And we're seeing a lot of influenza cases increasing across the country, and that's a trend that we're sure will continue into the new year.
Andrew Pekosh with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says the U.S. will likely see a pretty severe influenza season. Some states are already seeing high levels of the virus, but he says the new variant makes it likely for every state to have high flu case numbers in the next 2 to 3 months.
Whether we're simply seeing more cases because this clade K influenza virus is evading immunity and therefore more people are susceptible to infection, or if it's really causing more severe disease on a case-by-case basis.
Meanwhile, Pekosh says numbers of COVID-19 cases are nowhere near what we've seen in prior years, but this virus sometimes increases midwinter, and RSV levels have also been low.
It's not clear exactly why, but 2 strong RSV seasons combined with new RSV vaccines and treatments may all be contributing to that reduced case number.
Pekosh says vaccination is still the best way to protect against severe disease for all of these respiratory viruses. He says the flu vaccine is a good match for 2 strains of the virus, but may evade some, but not all, vaccine-induced protection.
It is certainly not too late, especially as we're thinking about holiday gatherings and travel.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Christmas is almost here, which means so is our Bless Our Children campaign. Our tree here is full of cards, which are all representing donations from viewers like you that make sure every child has a present to open Christmas morning. Here is a beautiful card with a little deer on it. It says, "Oh Holy Night." And this lovely card is from Alice Ellis in Seaford, who says, "Rejoice in this season of hope, happiness, and peace." Thank you, Alice, for your donation. Businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. And if you want to help, send a donation in a holiday card, and we may just read it on the air. Send a check or money order to the address on your screen, or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
We have already raised almost $320,000 to help children and families this holiday season. Again, thank you to all who have donated. And with the holiday season comes the return of our holiday house. Let's see what we're working with today. Mary Williams in Salisbury said she's ready for Santa and snow. Very cute Christmas tree. I'm trying to see the ornaments. I can't see so good, but very cute, and a very cute railing on the stairs there. Thank you, Mary, for sharing. And if you think you can top Mary's setup, we want to see how you're decorating too. So send your photos, send your videos. Just go to coasttv.com/holidayhouse and we might show them here on TV.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Delaware football is in its first year in the FBS, the highest division of college football, but the Fightin' Blue Hens didn't play like it. UD won 6 games, which was enough to earn a spot in the 68 Ventures Bowl. The Hens make their FBS Bowl debut tomorrow night down in Mobile, Alabama. Delaware is set to face off with Louisiana, who provides a very different style of play, which usually makes for a fun game. The Blue Hens offer a high-flying offense. They're 300 passing yards per game, ranked first in Conference USA this year and top 10 in the country. Delaware wasn't passing just to pass either. Those yards turned into points, 30 per game specifically, which was also good for best in the conference. The Ragin' Cajuns, on the other hand, pound the rock. Louisiana averages nearly 200 rushing yards per game, which is a top 30 mark nationally. 4 different players have at least 100 yards on the ground this season. If all that offense wasn't enough of a reason to watch, how about some local talent? There are 9 players from the state of Delaware on the Blue Hens roster, but 2 of them in particular stand out. First up, tight end Elijah Sessoms. The Dover alum has 22 catches for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns this year, all career highs. Defensive end Noah Matthews also had a great regular season. The senior spent his high school days at Woodbridge, then 3 years at Kentucky, but now he's finishing college in his home state. Matthews has 26 tackles to his name, 6 of them for a loss, plus 2 sacks. 1.5 of those sacks came in a win over UTEP in the final game of the regular season. That was a career day for Matthews. So kickoff is tomorrow night at 8:30. That'll do it for sports.
Now here's a live look outside into Lewis. We have one more check on your forecast after this.
There's definitely a bit of a stiff chill in the air, but that's going to be warming out and getting out of the way. But we're still holding at 26 degrees, for example, in Dover, and we're going to stay cold now. We have a small craft advisory that is active along the coast, watching out for 25-mile-per-hour winds. But to be honest, the winds are going to become more blustery, particularly for Friday at about 45 miles per hour. Our umbrella winner, George Thomas of Lewis, congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis. Get your weather forecast. Call our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstead, Mendelis, and Federico. And here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Calling for a yellow alert day on Friday because of the rain, in excess of about an inch of rain or more in some areas, and the winds howling at about 40 to 45 miles per hour inland and along the beaches.
Alrighty, thank you again, Paul, and thanks to you at home for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. You can always find more news and weather. Just download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we're back tomorrow at 5 a.m. Have a great night.